So, autism and learning, specifically learning new things, because sometimes it's hard to learn new things. So let's get straight into the video. Get to know me personally with my one-on-one coaching. First call is absolutely free. Check the link out in the description. Sometimes things aren't clear enough, and I'll put it a way that you can understand. If I were to say to you, put sticks in a bucket, right? And then another person will grab the sticks and put it in the bucket. Where I might go, does the sticks need to be vertical, or do the sticks need to be horizontal? So this is where it becomes so much more complicated when you're doing something new or you're learning something new, because you overthink in this way and you overanalyze what you're doing, which isn't a bad thing, but it can also confuse you off your own accord. So I feel as if this is the reason as to why it takes longer for myself to learn, because I overanalyze and I overthink what's going on. So I'll give you the analogy of the spices. So pretend you go into your arsenal of spices at home, right? You've got pepper, you've got paprika, you've got salt, whatever, right? You know exactly what it says. You know this is the paprika, you know this is the salt, you know this is the pepper, and you know how much of each thing you need to put in this specific dish to make it taste good. Say you have no idea of the specific dish you're gonna make and you don't know where to start, right? There's no instructions, but you want to make a new dish. Pretend now that all the spices that you have in your arsenal of spices are all blacked out. You don't know what any spice is. All you know is that there's a jar. There's multiple black jars that you can't see. You don't know which one is. You don't know what the difference is. And you now need to make the best dish you possibly can with all these spices. So now, the problem with that is that requires trial and error. That requires difficult work. That requires a sense of you need to learn and you need to fail. You need to mess it up until you figure out what it is. Okay, I don't know what this is. I'm gonna add some of this, and then I'm gonna add some of that. Oh, that wasn't good. So in the end, that learning that you've done is very difficult, because you need to now reteach yourself all these new things that you have no clue about, you have no idea. And I feel like that's why it is so draining to do new things and learn new things, because you need to start from absolute square one, from scratch, without actually knowing what anything is about and understanding what it's about. And that's where having the mindset of putting the sticks in the bucket in a specific way makes all of this 10 times harder, because you're now overthinking of what to do. I mean, it's kind of a rough analogy because obviously you don't know what spices they are, but you kind of get my point. You're overthinking so heavily, so you don't know where to start, because there's so many different spices, there's so many different jars that you have no idea of, and you need to now figure that out and label them. So for example, if you've been doing something for years and you know what to put in the dish because you've been doing it for so long, you've already labeled the jars, you've already figured out what spices are in my arsenal and how much do I need to use. So that's where sometimes the best thing you can do is show up every day to make progress, and that's the only way you can make progress, is if you show up and you do what you need to do, rather than overthinking and not even getting started just because you don't know what's in your arsenal of spices. You need to now learn what is in your arsenal of spices to be able to learn properly, or you're never going to be able to move forward. So, in conclusion, what can you take from this video? Even though something may be a little bit difficult, you may require a little bit more teaching, and you may need to learn a little bit longer than others. And that's not a bad thing. Just because you need to know how to put the sticks in the bucket doesn't mean that's a bad thing. Doesn't mean that you're overthinking it. Yeah, some people might think that's overthinking, but then a task that may require that thinking, you will excel in. So that's the end of this video. Like and subscribe to watch more educational content about autism and how to be an independent young man on the autism spectrum. Anyway, thank you.